Have you been spending summer organizing centers, scouring Pinterest for ideas, shopping on Amazon for things you probably don't even need, decorating your classroom, maybe even making thousands of copies, but yet you're not exactly sure what you're teaching the first day or even week of kindergarten? If so, you're not alone. I see kindergarten teachers doing this every single summer. And today we're talking about why so many teachers prepare the wrong things before school starts and what you should be focusing on instead. Welcome to the Kindergarten Toolbox Podcast. I'm your host, Amy Murray, here to help you simplify kindergarten with tools and strategies that actually work with real live 5 and 6-year-olds. Let's dive into your shortcut to calmer days and more confident writers. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a cute classroom, and organization in the summer was about the only time I got myself organized. And the Target dollar spot or Hobby Lobby finds, I love them as much as the next kindergarten teacher. But none of those things are what made my first week of school successful. You see, we focus on all those things because it's fun. Organizing bins in pretty colors and making all the labels for the drawers. Even decorating bulletin boards can be a fun distraction. I like to call it productive procrastinating, and I am an expert at that. And I also learned over the years that those centers I spent hours prepping in the summer rarely got used because I wasn't preparing the right things. It made me feel productive, but really I was wasting my time. I wasn't focused on what am I going to teach and what am I doing in the first couple of days of school, and how am I going to lay the groundwork for a successful school year from the very start. And it won't surprise you to know that it didn't come from the centers I was preparing or the pretty bulletin boards hanging in the hallway. It came from preparing all the things that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks here on the podcast. I needed to remember the things that mattered in the first week of school: routines, procedures, and helping kids feel safe and secure in school so they want to come back the next day. Because remember, kindergarten is supposed to be fun. So during the first week, we aren't focused on academics. We're focused on things like how to line up, how to sit on the carpet, how to use our school tools, classroom expectations and rules, routines, transitions, bathroom procedures. How will they ask you for help? Those are the lessons we teach, not just letters and numbers, but how to be students in kindergarten classrooms. So before you start prepping all of the centers and the bulletin boards and the things you think that you will need in your classroom, or even worse, running out and buying all the adorable things that you see on Instagram and TikTok, the first thing you need to do is talk to your teammates. If you have teammates, you want to be sure that you're all roughly on the same page so you know what to expect for the school year. And they just might already have the curriculum mapped out. That would save you a lot of time. And what if centers aren't going to run as freely as you think they are? What if you're tied to your principal's schedule? These are all things that you should know before you spend hours prepping them. But no matter what the rest of the school year has in store for you, the first week needs to be about teaching your expectations, routines, setting your classroom culture. What is your management system going to look like? And those lessons will pay you dividends all year long. Meanwhile, those beautiful centers, you'll change them next month. Or they won't work and you'll scrap them entirely. The bulletin board, you'll take that down too. But your routines, you'll use those every single day. And if you get them right from the very beginning, it's going to make your life so much easier. So instead of asking, what else do I need to buy or prep, ask yourself, do I know what my students will do when they walk into my classroom? How am I going to teach them to use their school supplies? Am I using community supplies or individual supplies? What are my bathroom procedures? What rules will we have? What's dismissal going to look like? What about lunch and recess? How will I communicate with my students' families? This is where we should be focusing. This is what's going to lay the groundwork for a successful school year, beyond just the first 5 days. Over the years, I learned a lot about what makes the first week of kindergarten successful and what doesn't. If you listened to the podcast before, you know I was thrown into kindergarten 1 week before school started. Yes, truly 1 week. I learned a lot through trial by fire that first year. Then over the next several years, I was lucky enough to mentor a lot of new kindergarten teachers because we had a rotating half-day position. So I had a new teammate almost every year, and many of them were fresh out of college. It was so fun to embrace their excitement and to help them prepare for the first few days of school because I knew something they didn't know yet. The first week of kindergarten sets the tone for the entire school year. If you get those first 5 days right, teaching routines, expectations, procedures, and classroom culture, everything else becomes so much easier. And if I've struck a nerve and you're thinking, okay, yes, you're right, but I still don't even know where to start, I feel like I'm going in too many different directions. It definitely can be overwhelming. And that's exactly why we created the first week of kindergarten blueprint, because I wanted to take the guesswork out of those first couple of days. The first week of kindergarten blueprint is a 3-part workshop that's completely focused on helping you prepare for the most important week of the school year. On day 1, we'll focus on building relationships so your students feel safe, connected, and excited to come back the next day. On day 2, we'll dive into routines, procedures, and classroom expectations that help your classroom run smoothly, not just during the first week, but all year long. And then on day 3, I'll show you exactly how to put it all together with step-by-step lesson plans and activities, so you're not sitting there wondering, okay, what do I do next? Or did I forget something? By the end of the workshop, you'll know exactly what to teach during those first 5 days of kindergarten. You won't be second-guessing yourself or wondering if you're forgetting something. You'll walk into your classroom feeling prepared, organized, and confident. And I'd love for you to join us live next week. We'll be together July 27th, 28th, and 29th at 11 Eastern Time. My favorite part of doing the workshop live is getting to interact and answer your questions in real time. There's nothing better than getting to chat with kindergarten teachers. And we'll have some fun giveaways and exclusive thank you gifts for those who are able to join us live. But I also understand how busy this time of year is. If you are not in back to school mode yet, or you're heading on vacation, or life just gets in the way, don't worry. You also get on-demand access to the recordings and all the printable resources, so you can work through everything whenever it works best for you. You don't have to have the whole year planned before school starts. You just need to know exactly what to do first to set yourself up for success. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start your school year with a clear plan, I'd love to help you inside the first week of kindergarten blueprint. Just head down to the show notes and click the link. I can't wait to see you all next week.
Thanks for listening to the Kindergarten Toolbox. I'm Amy Murray, and I'm so glad you're here. Be sure to check the show notes for all the links and resources from today's episode. For even more tips, tools, and support, head to teachingexceptionalkinders.com. or connect with me on Instagram at teachingexceptionalkinders. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow along and subscribe to the show and take a minute to leave a review. It helps other kindergarten teachers to find us too. Teaching kindergarten is tough, but you're not alone. Here's to calmer days and more confident writers. You've got